Hey there, Canonites. It is my great pleasure to welcome you back to another excellent episode of Hunt the Truth. And I'm happy to say that today we're finally getting a good look at the truth of the shootout on Biko. Let's not waste any time and dive in. We open with Ben giving us some very grim details about what it's been like hiding out since the broadcast to the UEG senators. Ben has grown quite paranoid in that time, working during the night, sleeping during the day, jumping at any sound he doesn't recognize, and really, who could blame him? Oni told Ben that he is done, and that usually means exactly what one might think. Granted, he's basically cut himself off from the outside world, but the situation still feeds into Ben's paranoia, and the disappearance of Mashak certainly didn't help. After the intro, we get something I don't think anybody saw coming. Ben plays for us a press conference of a freshman UEG senator making a statement about the attack on Biko. And that senator's name? None other than the infamous Andrew Del Rio. That's right, the disgraced former captain of the UNSC Infinity is now playing politics in the UEG Senate. Now, given what we know of Del Rio, I think most of you can guess what he had to say. In short, Del Rio called for the decommissioning of the Spartan II program, calling the saviors of humanity, and the chief in particular, a, quote, broken bastardization of a soldier. Simultaneously, he vouches for the Spartan IVs, calling them the true Spartans, claiming we'd never see them killing innocent civilians. Now, he is right, but I can't help but thinking about all those traitor Spartans we've heard of over the years. Seems Oni and the Spartan branch have done a damn good job of keeping those under wraps. As one might expect, especially since the speech was being given on Earth, the people gave roaring applause. I have to say, it is actually really good to hear from Del Rio again, regardless of the circumstances. I'd always taken issue with Del Rio in Halo 4, him basically being a throwaway character, especially after all the build-up during Halo 4's marketing. It's great to see him back, even if it's only briefly. I also have to say, it is astounding, in the wake of what Ben has seen and what Del Rio has said, Ben still believes in the Master Chief, and feels that he should get due process. Moreover, he still believes that there's more to what happened. You gotta love that he's able to keep such conviction given his situation. Moving forward, Ben finally gets a visitor, Ray Kurzig. Using some contacts and a few tricks picked up from Mashak, Ray found our first glimpse at the truth of the attack on Biko, just what we and Ben have been waiting for. Combing through the slush, Ray found his first clue in the form of an exotic signal. It was a transmission from the Sangheili to Earth, the day after the leaks, claiming that the attack had not been the fault of the Sangheili nor the demon, aka our favorite Green Spartan. Strangely though, the clan leader sending the transmission questioned why the UEG did nothing when the people of Biko were calling for what he called unjust blood. The last part catches Ben by surprise, since, as far as he and the public are aware, Biko is relatively peaceful in the wake of what happened. Of course, Ray found out why. The feed people are receiving is an old loop. While the outer colonies have been cut off from the inner colonies, somebody went a step further with Biko, cutting the planet off completely. Ray, lucky for us and lucky for him, had a friend that basically works as an information broker. The guy had gone to Biko following the attack, which incidentally took place a month ago, and was kind enough to sell the information he gathered to Ray. And that information paints a pretty ugly truth. Protests, riots, martial law, a complete societal breakdown, and none of Biko's politicians are saying anything, at least not publicly. In reality, the embassy on Biko is furious, and a gag order from the UEG won't let anyone say anything. Why is the UEG trying to silence Biko? Well, this is a series about cover-ups, right? As it turns out, the human ambassador, Richard Sakibo, had uncovered a security threat and tried to get support from the UEG. Not only had they blown him off, but they did so with an automated message. It's practically giving the middle finger to someone with a gun pointed at their head. Unfortunately for Sakibo, he had to go through with the talks regardless of the risk. Things were just that desperate. And here is where we get into the truth. The security risk had arisen from an anti-interspecies peace group called the Sapien Sunrise. They had planned to kill Richard Sakibo and blame the Sangheili. The chief caught wind of this and went to work. Sapien Sunrise had managed to infiltrate Sakibo's security, including the man's personal bodyguard. Of the 19 people the chief killed during his attack on the peace talks, 9 of them were confirmed members of Sapien Sunrise. And according to a technically illegal investigation by Sakibo's people, the chief didn't kill a single innocent person that day. Unfortunately, the evidence, in the form of a second video, remains elusive to Ray. In fact, just about any piece of evidence remains elusive. It seems in the wake of this investigation, the UEG came down hard with that gag order, and offered the diplomats a pretty sweet deal, one that would apparently include justice. That last bit naturally annoyed Ben, Justice in this case meant that while Sapien Sunrise would go down for their actions, the chief would probably go down with them, just to cover the UEG's ass. So, let's break down this truth. The chief caught wind of the attack on those peace talks, practically dive-bombed onto Biko's surface, made a straight shot for the peace talks, grabbed Richard Sakibo, and escorted all but 3 Sangheili diplomats to safety without shedding a drop of innocent blood. Now, how Sakibo died is still a mystery, but all evidence would seem to exonerate the chief. Of course, that evidence is out of Ben's reach. Still, Ben is ecstatic, thanking Ray profusely. Ray, however, did not exactly do this for free. He needs Ben to call Petra, see what she's heard from the outer colonies. Ray's parents live out there, and, as one might expect, he's been unable to contact them. Naturally, Ben agrees. Ben calls up Petra and starts explaining the situation, but after a few minutes she stops him from talking. As it turns out, she has a lead, and has decided to pass it along to Ben. She sends him a digital package which contains coordinates to a location on Bliss, a colony that was glassed back in 2526, and a 72-hour window that would soon open. What this is unknown, but Petra seems to think that Ben needs to find out what. Ben agrees. She sends him the information on the flight he'll be taking, a non-commercial flight of course, and notes that these people only speak in bribes before ending the call. Now, if Petra knows anything about or is going to look up Ray's parents, remains unknown. So, to get the money for the bribe, Ben has to head home. Seems he had a rainy day fund hidden away. But when he arrives at his former apartment building, Ben is surprised to find several notices of condemnation. As he enters, the fear is palpable. Doors wide open, furniture and fixtures covered in plastic, and not a soul in sight. Stranger still is that Ben's door is the only one closed. When he enters, he finds that the place had been completely stripped. Not just of furniture and things, but everything. The wiring, the plumbing, the windows, everything of Ben's life is gone, as if it had never been there. And right there, the episode comes to a close. God damn, these episodes just keep getting better. We now know what happened on Biko, but there are still some missing pieces. How did Sakibo die? Why was his body in some random field? How will the Sangheili react if the chief is still implicated in the shootout at the peace conference? And then what is this mysterious location on Bliss? What will Ben find there? Bliss was a location that Dr. Ellen Anders had noted as having potential Forerunner ruins, though not quite in those words. Could this be what Ben is unknowingly looking for? Might this relate to the Guardian or Guardians from Halo 5? As always, so many questions. It's 2 weeks to E3, meaning we have 2 more episodes before the end. And boy, I cannot wait. The tension is killing me, as I'm sure it is for you. Well, that does it for this episode. Thanks for joining as always, and until next time, this has been Halo Canon. Hey guys, thanks for watching my video. It means more than I can express in a few minutes of audio. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share it around on whatever social media you see fit, and all that jazz. Thank you so much. Your support is everything. I would not be where I am without you. Thanks.